How about those fryers? Whoops. Body messing up out here. My goodness. Got to turn this window off. Music display. There we go. Okay. Hi! Hello, everybody. Ralia, Kiernox, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's going good. It is going good. I actually, you know, funny timing. I actually think I'm starting to get sick. My body, I think, decided to wait until all the stress was out of my system before starting to go downhill in a different direction. But I'm good. I'm feeling good right now. I'm ready to talk about this thing because there's a lot that happened with this contest. Pancake is good. Hello, I agree. Pancakes are really good. I don't have pancakes that often, but
I was just thinking this morning that we should make pancakes. There's a box of like Bisquick mix on top of the fridge. We never use it.
Do we? I don't even see it, I guess. You loved CC2. I'm so proud of CC2. It really ballooned into this passion project that I'd never expected, like when I first announced it. I suppose I should kind of start a little bit from the beginning. CC2 got announced, I believe, on February 1st and then wrapped up on February 28th. That was the time that the other creators got to have in order to create their entries for it. If you need a refresher as to what the rules are, it was essentially just make a Rob Top style level, introduce a mechanic, pretend it's like the first level that mechanic was introduced in, make Rob Top-esque decoration and gameplay, all to kind of give the illusion that it's part of a much bigger spin-off / fan game. The results video for that contest got uploaded yesterday, and it totals half an hour long. So it's full of 15 levels with a couple of like cutscene related stuff, as well as a little surprise from me at the end that may or may not relate to the picture that's actually being shown right now. The art is nice. Thank you. Directly inspired by the Gauntlet art. Where's the mouse? Can you guys see my mouse?
Let's go.
Are you able to pick that up? Yes, that is showing. I have like multiple different images of the gauntlets as well as the GD World islands to kind of get a sense for Rob's art style, because that was really one I wanted to go for, was to make it feel like as close to base game as possible, right? So I'm Jay735. I'm the one who hosted the entire contest. I had my Discord mod team and I are the individuals who judged all of the entries for the contest to kind of have a quality barrier. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't just my own opinions going into the thing, even though it is my contest. I find that having multiple sets of eyes on something can really aid in curating the best experience. So I had my team of mods help me judge, and one of them is here with me today.
Sup, chat?
My girlfriend is one of the mods. This is Liv.
No nepotism.
No nepotism at all. Definitely no favoritism, no nepotism, nothing. Celta, hello. Adquez, hello, hello.
Hi! Hi, Gernot!
This is Liv, and she has gracefully accepted, graciously, thank you, accepted the invitation to be a part of the stream because she helped out a lot too. I think she is probably the mod that spent the most amount of time judging. She was very thorough.
Very thorough. You're welcome.
Out of all of the mods, I would say she is the one who plays GD the least, and she had the most to say. So if you were worried that there was gonna be, that we were just gonna like kind of skip over the judging process, no.
Like 5.5 hours.
Yeah, for her alone. Would love to have a Discord. Yeah, Discord's fun. I like the server. I like the server that I've got going. There's some changes that I want to make. Some small changes, you know, add a couple roles, add a couple more channels here and there. I think the server's a nice space though. It's got some good people in there. Your channel got abandoned because of Google. Doesn't understand your age. Oh, it's the whole age verification. Age verification got me like... I have a bunch of instruments in front of me now, so we have our own soundboard, essentially. So, there we go. Okay. I suppose we should start getting into it. Perhaps. Jarvis, can you sound us off? Can you say yes? Do you want the stream to start? You gotta say yes if you want the stream to start. Can you say yes? Say yes. Jarvis, say yes.
Yes!
Good boy. Alright. About your surprise level, were there any unused ideas or block designs? That's a great question. I would be accepting questions through the stream chat. I'll try and answer as many as I can. I knew that when I started the level I wanted to do pixel art style because 2.2's been out for a little over 2 years and I still had yet to really try to make something with them. So I knew that I wanted to do pixel art. It took me a couple of attempts to get like the block design down for the very first section, which took probably an hour to 2 hours to try to figure out the exact look that I wanted, and that included colors. I didn't really know what the color palette was going to be. But then I decided on kind of a purple, blue, and green, completely unrelated to like my character or anything, my icon set. It just was the one that I think fit the song best. But it is, in terms of unused ideas or block designs, it honestly really came down to like that first day where I tried decorating and just not liking the block family that I chose, so I kind of just swapped it out for other ones until I landed on the one that I ended up using, at least for the first part. Everything after that was honestly pretty smooth sailing. I kind of, once I placed a block down, I was like, yeah, that feels like it's the right block type to go there. You have to make some updates? Yeah, sure. Yeah, everyone is able to make updates to their levels, obviously, like whether or not your entry ended up placing. That's completely up to you at this point. Hey, Mecha Brain! How's it going? Congratulations. Congratulations, everybody whose level made it in. There will be more contests in the future, so if your entry didn't make it this time,
Don't worry.
this isn't the end. There will be plenty more. I want to have CC3 later this year. I think I've got the idea down, but I think I need to take a break from contest stuff after this for a little while. And I'll... No, you think I should do it right away?
Give the people what they want. They feast. They hunger.
They do hunger. So excited to participate in the next one. I would love to see more participation next time. It would be so cool if like every contest there ended up being like more and more people entering just as they start to get a little bit more established.
Yeah, because there was a pretty good turnout this time around.
Yeah, we had like nearly 40 submissions.
No, I think we had like 42. We had 40 plus.
Well, there was a couple that like got unfinished. Some of them that didn't abide by the contest rules, and then there were
but
like
there
one or
still
two
like
duplicates.
40 plus actual submissions to the contest.
We'll round it out at 40, and 15 made it. So we still had a good turnout, like especially compared to CC1. I think CC1 only had like maybe 15 submissions. So if we went from 15 to nearly 40, like that's a huge improvement. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm proud of you for finishing half the layout. Yes, because sometimes getting into the mindset of creating can be a challenge. So any accomplishment is worth praise to me, I would say. Can't imagine what's next. I can.
Yeah, we were literally already talking about it this morning.
Mm-hmm. We were. If you think there was only 8 last time, that sounds about right. There wasn't that many, but, you know, it was kind of a lot more of an ask, I think, than this one was.
What were the rules for the last one, do you remember?
Build the entire layout.
Oh, and then you would decorate half of it.
The top 3 winners. Yeah, I would decorate the second half. And it had to use a song from Bush's and my album.
Heliotrope!
Kirnox loves Heliotrope.
I love that one. I mean, I'm not biased or anything because my favorite color is purple or whatever. But I love Heliotrope.
Yeah, so this turnout was amazing, and it really... I think I could tell early on that this was going to be a little bit of a bigger hit, just because the rules were made to be more approachable, I think, for more creators. I wanted the build style to be set, but also have it be a simpler style, because not to be like one of those levolution like preachers, but I do think that standards in GD, especially for people who don't create, have gotten exceptionally high. And so one of the many goals of this contest was, let's take a chill pill, let's kind of have a little bit more of a classic experience with this. Let's make Rob Top-esque stuff. Let's try to have some fun with it. Let's use the default blocks in ways that we know look good. Like, let's use them how they were meant to be used, because they do look good and they were designed to look good as is. So let's try to...
There's a reason they look like that.
Yeah, let's try to like hone in on that and really give the objects the credit they deserve, because they were designed to look good, right? They were designed in such a way to add to the game, even in their default state, and I really wanted to lean into that with this contest. And we had some awesome levels. We had some awesome levels that also didn't make it. So just because your level didn't make it doesn't mean that it wasn't a sick level. Yeah, it just so happened that it didn't necessarily fit the criteria. To everyone out there whose level didn't get showcased,
and you're like, oh man, they must have hated it.
Yeah.
No.
Just because it didn't make it doesn't mean it wasn't a good level. It just didn't follow the necessary rules that the contest put in place. Excuse me, I burped a couple times during that. I don't know if the mic picked up on that. But, yeah, if your entry didn't make it, that doesn't mean that your level was bad. It just means that it didn't necessarily fit the parameters for the contest. Those should not mean the same thing to you guys. And
they're not mutually exclusive.
Yes, I hope that we can be very clear about that, because there were some awesome levels that pained us to disqualify. Hogart's here in chat. He was another one of the mods, so he can kind of attest to that, I think.
Say hi to Hogart.
Yeah. Let's see. Framing the CC as a collaborative contest was definitely what made this so appealing to you. That's awesome. I wanted it to feel appealing. I wanted it to feel approachable. That was another one of the goals. I wanted it to be approachable to as many people as possible. So, like, shorter level, reliable musicians, like, let's use features that are already in the game. It was designed from the ground up to be more of a easy or a lower barrier of entry, let's say, and not in like any sort of insulting way either. Like, oh, we want bad creators to join us. Like, no, that wasn't the goal. How much you miss the tile sets? Yeah, I love the 2.0 grass tiles. I love those guys. I love those guys. They look so nice. I love refrigerators. They look so nice. Yeah. And the grass, I guess, too.
I guess.
Yeah, the grass is so nice. So
it's one of the tile set that I love. Is that one of the? It's the one that Subwoofer used in your guys' Fizzy Fossil lab. And Finger Dash.
Oh, the Finger Dash like rock.
I like the color combo where it's like the green
grass
leaves or grass.
Yeah.
On top of the purple. Like,
yeah.
Brown.
The first part in Finger Dash.
I love them.
I do like those quite a bit. I like when they have that colored outlines. Big fan of that. You like geometric shapes? I've got a game for you. It's called Geometry Dash.
I like geometrical dominators.
Another contest with these rules. So I won't go too much into this, but I would like to kind of have a spiritual successor to this contest. It will not be CC3. It might be CC4, it might be CC5. But I have an idea for a spiritual successor to this contest. So if you guys enjoyed this, stick around, wait like another 5 years.
Promise it'll be worth it.
You'll get your CC2 2.0 at some point. It will happen. It'll happen. It won't happen this year. That's all I will say. It will not happen this year. Only 5 years. I know it's like right around the corner. It's right around the corner. So with all that being said, I'm gonna kind of jump into a little bit of the development for this, because I'm gonna be super transparent and honest about CC2. It was definitely a victim of scope creep.
For those in the chat who don't know what that means, now you tell them what it means.
Oh, I thought you were going to.
No.
So, scope creep, for those of you who...
For those in the chat who don't know what it means.
For those of you who don't know, it essentially means that an idea was formed, and then as that idea was being realized by the person or people making it, the scope of the project grew and grew and grew as it was being worked on more and more. So the original idea for the contest, for like the results video more so, was just having the levels back to back in just like normal showcase fashion. There might have been like a interesting transition to happen between them, but there was no plan to have any sort of world map. There was no plan.
This was also partially my fault.
A little bit.
A little bit.
You did contribute, but
I'm just not realizing that.
Yeah. There was no plan to be world map. There was no plan to have the warp zone level. There was no plan to have the cannon zone level. There was no plan for me to make swirl at all. When the announcement video for this contest came out, none of these things were even a thought. They did not exist physically or mentally. They were not a thing. And as I worked on the level, I built the level first. and I got the idea to build Swirl probably about a week after the launch of the contest came out. I was talking with a buddy at work about the whole thing. He was like, "Oh, it'd be cool if you made like a secret little thing for it." And I was like, "You know what? That would be cool. I haven't built a level in a while." And so I proceeded to build Swirl over the next like 3 to 4 weeks. And then as I'm finishing the level, I realized that it would be kind of weird to just have there be a surprise entry at the end. So I was like, okay, how can I kind of explain this a little bit more? How, like, just to have a little bit more fun with it. Swirl is so good. I'm glad. I'm really proud of the level for being my first pixel art level and first, like, level in probably, like, 8 months. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, the crunch time was pretty insane for me.
I mean, for other people too.
Yeah, definitely for all the mods, like for judging, like I set a deadline for all the judging, and we happened to get it done like a day early, which I'm thrilled with, which gave me more time to compile the results and everything, and I definitely needed that extra day. It was kind of down to the wire for me. But I didn't plan on doing the level, and so then I started building the level, and then halfway through I was like, oh, it'd be cool if there was a world map. So I drew this. What you're seeing on screen right now is the first, like, asset that I drew for this contest. And I've got my stylus here. We can zoom in a little bit. We can see kind of like how high the resolution is. And I knew in the level that I was building that I wanted to have, I don't know why it's like so like kind of jittery. I'll just use my mouse. But I knew that I had the sort of light scheme where I had like magenta on the left and cyan on the right, and so I thought that'd be a really cool idea to include that in this, just to kind of have there be like a really strong sense of cohesion. I feel like I find that little details like this really make it feel really thought out and really planned. And that's what I wanted to do, was make everything feel like very intentional. You can see here I have the what's it called? The sprite sheet for GD World, just to kind of get a little bit of idea for the colors and use the waterfall as reference. You can see it's like essentially the exact same colors between these two. Background just for like visual purposes. We've got this. I used, is this the Force Gauntlet? Can someone fact check me on that? Is this the Force Gauntlet sprite? I think it's Force. Force Gauntlet? Yeah, okay. I used this one to kind of trace the outside and make sure that I got the general shapes for the rock formations and make sure that I kind of got the shading correct. And did so obviously at a much higher resolution than this image. You can see it gets like really crisp. So I used that and I was like, oh, that'd be fun, but that means then that I need a world map for all the entries when they go on, so it'll probably end up being very GD World-esque. And so that's when I started drawing this guy. I mean, it wasn't right away. I think I drew this probably around a week-ish ago. And as you can see, there are a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers, most of which are named. You know, I was pretty good about the naming convention. But I got like a base down, and then I did all the grass, and I did all the shading, and then even before that, like I had to plot it out. I had to design like a concept for the whole thing, and so this is like genuine concept art, making sure that the GD World islands, both of the ones that already exist, I mapped out where the approximate shape was in relation to the entire screen, boxed that out, and then drew the world map that fit within that box. So then the next step was honestly supposed to be getting the amount of winning levels down. And so I got this sprite from GD World and I scaled it accordingly. And I dotted them around in places that feel like they would fit. And then I saw, oh, if we have like more than 10, this is gonna get really cramped. And so then a little birdie told me that maybe a second island would help to kind of space them all out.
I cannot tell y'all how against the idea he was at first.
I was very against it. But I thought about it.
Then over time,
like the next day, I kind of came to terms with it. I was like, oh, yeah, I will need a second one.
Like, imagine you have like 16 levels that make it through. You're not going to be able to fit 16 on there and make it look good. You're going to have to like tie 2 to each icon and then make like a little subcategory. Make like a whole lot more work for yourself. So I was like, no, you should make 2.
Yeah. I'm really glad I came around to the idea because honestly, I'm a huge fan of what World 2 ended up looking like. I was a big fan of GD World's like world map concept. Like obviously it's very inspired by like the new Super Mario Brothers games. And I wanted to lean into that a little bit more. I remember when GD World initially came out, and people were talking about like, oh man, I would love if there was like branching pathways and there was like a secret exit in one of the levels that would lead to a different path, and then you could kind of like, there would be like a sense of progression in that way that is just kind of like that natural evolution of like what GD World had at the time, or I guess currently still has because it hasn't been updated to have World 3 or anything.
Right.
Which is fine, I'm not expecting it to. But, I've always loved the idea of that concept being pushed, and so having a second world really allowed for this, and what it allowed me to do was actually create more sprites. So I got to draw this, this pipe sprite, trying to keep in line with the RobTop art style as well, which I'm really happy with. I think it fits in really well. And by proxy, the cannon. It's the exact same sprite, just made grayscale, right? Like there's no secret. This is a GD object that I imported in, but these guys are taken directly from GD World. The little marker dots are also taken directly from GD World. Looks like the pipes in the Dawnbreak level. It looks like just any of the Mario pipes. Especially with it being green with kind of like that yellowish highlight. Yeah, the pipes from Explorers. I think it's actually the pipes from Swirl. But you know, you do you. So I had to make sure that I got the correct amount of levels that passed the contest criteria before I could actually get drawing on these, because I didn't know if I would have to manipulate the terrain at all to accommodate for there being more space. So since we had 15 levels, I had World 1
Wait, do we actually have 15?
Yeah, we have 15.
I was so close with my preemptive guess for 16 levels.
16 if you count mine, but
oh my god, I'm a genius!
Platformer transitions. I was really proud of that idea. I thought it would... That's another one of those cases where I was like, oh, I could put in a little bit more effort. Scope creep. It could be really nice to have there be like a transition. Like, how do you get from world to world? Oh, pipes. That's how every game gets from one place to another nowadays. It's with pipes, especially GD levels. We love using pipes now.
Do pipes work?
Pipes work. Pipes work. Pipes do work.
Pipe works?
Peak speedrunning levels. Yeah, the 5-second long levels.
Wait a second, this isn't peak. It's Geometry Dash.
We should have finished level for the contest. It was fun to watch. I'm glad it was fun to watch. I wanted it to feel like we were just kind of like watching someone's playthrough a little bit. So I knew once I had the number 15, Burger King foot lettuce,
Number 15.
I was gonna take the amount and split them between the two worlds. And I decided to draw a general path. It's not in this file, but I kind of just drew a single line in a shape that I thought looked appealing. And then I plotted these out. Each of the level markers, I put them in place, and then drew this sketch around it. And then I got the idea to add the transition, and so like I made this extra like little cliff face over here for the pipe to be added in later. And then I did the same thing for World 2. Oh, did that one hurt?
No, I just felt Max was so loud.
It's fine.
Yeah, number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So then the next step was drawing out World 2. I did the same thing where I drew a couple of shapes. And the one that I found to be most interesting was one that started higher up on the right side. Both of GD World's islands have the exact same map pathing. Where is it? It's right here, the world sheet. Both of them go like this. Both are kind of like a shortened or a squashed W, right? World 1 already breaks that by having there be a split path, but it does have that sense of familiarity going from left to right. I wanted to intentionally break that going into World 2, so we start on the right and then snake around, which I think makes for a much more interesting and dynamic viewing experience. I knew this was going to be viewed, so I wanted it to look as interesting as I could. Yeah, the upload issue. Did that ever get solved? Honestly, I haven't checked. So if it has, that's awesome. If not, we can talk about it some more. Like after the stream is done, I should be pretty available. Kind of cool to see the evolution of mod chat. You mods were kept in the dark about a lot of this too.
Nuh-uh.
I mean, she wasn't, because she lives with me. But
I gave ideas.
Yeah, but
yeah, pick up the slack, other mods.
But yeah, I tried to keep it as hidden as I could, from as many people as I could, while also still getting the necessary help that I needed. So like, I hope that this, like, seeing these by themselves is kind of instilling how much work actually had to go into this. As far as drawing the actual worlds, this one was done in a little over 24 hours, and then World 2 was done in a little less than 24 hours, I think. The reveal was crazy. Yes.
Before stream started, or maybe during the level showcase, I actually turned to Jay and I was like, I cannot wait to see chat when the level comes out. I'm so excited.
For Swirl or for
Swirl?
For Swirl, okay.
I mean, I already knew people were going to be hyped about the world maps.
Yes.
But I was specifically so excited to see people's reactions to Swirl. Because I love it.
I'm very proud of Swirl.
I think it's so pretty.
So for Island 1 and Island 2, or World 1, World 2, whatever you'd like to call them, I tried to have them each be inspired by GD World's own islands. So I think it's pretty safe to say that this is more inspired by the Dashlands, and this is more inspired by the Toxic Factory. Getting the rock texture was like, I had to learn a whole new art style for this project.
And let me tell y'all, he was so excited. He kept sending it to me.
In like iterations.
Every time he would do like a rock face. You're like, look! I'm thinking it's pretty, but...
I had to learn a whole new art style for this project, which was, again, something that I did not think I was going to do.
Did not plan on.
Did not plan on this at the time of releasing the announcement. This was not part of the plan at all. So, again, I really am hoping that you guys are getting a sense of the amount of time and effort that had to be put into this, because I had to learn how RobTop does his, like, shading, his rendering, his texturing, his lighting, all these things.
And let us tell you, it's not a concrete thing either.
Mm-mm.
We had an argument about the specific way a highlight would work for some of the, like... Wait, can you zoom in? Can you turn on the layer?
It was on...
It was for the way that the pipe would light up, or the shadow would cast on the button, versus the way that the skulls were doing it.
Yeah. It was...
You can't see it. Oh, no.
These
Never mind,
guys?
it's just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
I really disagree with the way that the shadow works on the pipe button.
Is it this, specifically?
The part where it's on the red.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not agree with the way that the shadow is casting. And we had an argument about it,
Like,
chat.
legitimately. It was like a tense conversation, like... Yeah, we were actually, like, legitimately bickering about it.
And it's just shading on a button. But it was... neither of us could agree on the way that it was supposed to look.
Because we're both artists, and
I'm actively, like, drawing right now, chat.
I'm trained in 2D, and she's trained on 3D.
Yeah, so I was looking at it through a 3D space. He was looking at it through a
Let me
2D
mimic
space.
RobTop style.
Yeah, 2D art style and RobTop art style. And I'm like, no, that's not how it would work. And it's like, it doesn't matter if that's how it would work or not. That's the way that RobTop did it. So, if anybody ever clips this and it makes its way to RobTop, fuck you. I'll say it.
Oh my gosh, Bush, thank you for the donation.
That's a lucky number.
333?
Yeah, it's either lucky or incredibly unlucky.
I know triple sevens are really lucky.
Yeah.
But I don't know about threes. I haven't heard about threes before.
Well, it's the number that comes after 2.
Most heated arguments spawn from the smallest topics. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
They're very
actually.
nitpicky.
But the important thing is, you see how we're still nice to each other after?
Yes. Yes.
But there was, back on the concept of scope creep for this, there was so many themes that were just, oh, it's the Mandela catalog number. Not what I was going for, but sure. Should make this canon later. He actually released a new spin-off surprisingly similar to 735 contest and not copy the idea. That's why he proceeds to clip it. Do it. Send it in the RobTop Discord. At him. I want him to know.
At him on Twitter, too.
At him on Twitter. At him on every platform he's got. Does he have a Newgrounds? Add him there. While you're at it, tell him to make the Boom Kitty icon.
Yeah, he still didn't do that.
What the heck? Boom Kitty already has the art for it. I remember the tweet. But on the topic of scope creep, there would be so many times where we would just be casually chatting, and thank you, Stealthy. Where we would just be casually chatting before, like, the islands were made or anything. I think you didn't clip it. Where we would just casually mention, like, oh, you could do this, and that might, you know, work for something. Like, it might establish something later on, or, you know, just casually chatting about art, spitballing, seeing what sticks and all that. And then, like, 20 minutes later, Jay turns to me and is like, hey, guess what? Maybe not that specifically, but, like, you know, just casually chatting, and then you get 2 islands out of it.
Yeah.
You get, like, the whole trailer idea you weren't even gonna do, and then I mentioned it.
No, I haven't even gotten to, like, the prep that it took to make all the promotional stuff for it, too. We're gonna get to that soon.
But a lot you weren't going to do, and then I would
No.
mention and be like, hey, what if you did a video like this? Or you were making the teaser thumbnail, the teaser image, where it's your icon in the center and the 4 of us on the sides.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if you, like, flash a little bit of a spotlight on each of us to differentiate us from the background? And you were like, I didn't even think of the concept of making, like, a trailer video, essentially.
Yeah.
And then we got the trailer video. It wasn't what I had suggested, but you got a trailer out of it.
And it was made in, like, a couple of hours. It was very, like, on the spot. And it did have to get tweaked a few times before it came out because the level that it showcased had to be updated. And it turns out that the project file was only doing 24 frames per second, and so I had to
play the audio.
So I had to remake the entire trailer at a project file with 60 FPS. So I ended up making the same exact video like twice. There was a lot.
Anybody who has to render anything should know these struggles.
Yes, I cannot describe in words how much work has gone into this that wasn't planned. I kid you not, the only work that I planned on doing when I released the announcement for this contest was, I will judge, I will stitch the levels together. What I ended up actually doing
a whole lot more
was drawing concept art for 2 islands, scaling every single asset to be the exact same size as they would be on, like, GD World's map. I built an entire level that had to properly introduce variations on the same mechanic, like camera zoom, camera rotate, camera static, camera offset. Had to make a layout that involved using all of those and combining those. Creating 2 or 3 teaser images, creating a trailer, managing all of the entries after they got out, recording every single one of them, finding all the coin routes for all of them, creating a whole separate character with text boxes and dialogue clips, and matching the animation for it by essentially rotoscoping the keyframes frame by frame.
He's very proud of Robbeard, everybody.
I love Robbeard.
For good reason. He's good.
I love Robbeard.
I love the features.
Creating particle effects that had to be layered in post for when, like, the new level got unlocked. Animating all of the dots that happen between the level markers at the exact, having the exact same scale for all the frames, and distancing each one of them to be equivalent to one another, making a coin counter. None of this was planned.
Yeah, there was one point where he was like, am I gonna have to make a coin character? Sorry, a coin counter?
So that people know.
I'm gonna have to make a coin counter!
Yeah. None of this was planned when the contest got announced. I hope that this is, like, putting it into perspective. None of this was supposed to happen. There was a horse loose in the hospital right now.
Oh, that's what I was gonna quote earlier.
It was John.
Yeah, it was like, take a breath, John! When you were talking through your burps.
Yeah. None of this was planned. That is what scope creep was for this project. Am I glad it happened? Yes. Will I be taking a break after this? Yes.
Yeah, that's why CC3 isn't happening right now, yeah.
CC3 will be later this year, but it will not be in the month of April. It probably won't be in the month of May. It'll be a little bit.
It's not going to be the next project that comes out.
I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's next. I have stuff that I need to do behind the scenes that won't be, like, YouTube friendly. Let me put it that way.
Hardcore
Grinding. No.
Okay.
Why is there a horse in the hospital? It's a joke or a bit from a comedian named John Mulaney.
He's a pretty funny guy. You should watch him. All of his specials are like on Netflix, but I bet you could just watch it all through various clips on YouTube.
Vonners knows it.
Vonners got peace.
So, with all that being said, this project was so fun to work on because I kept having ideas that I was just like, oh, I need to do this. This would be so cool if I did this. And that kept happening in such rapid succession, which is why there are like 10 different files up here. I really tried to keep track of everything. I really tried to make everything organized. I wanted to have good workflow. I wanted to practice good workflow habits during this whole thing. While I have Rawbeard open, we can see on the side we have all kinds of different scratch frames so that I could scale and rotate and position each pose to match exactly as needed. I needed to figure out the values for the transparency for this text box window, and then each of these was exported at a different frame that was brought into my animation software, because the text box in world map was all animated using my animation software that I use for Stick and Dash, that I use for the Deep Vine Pass and Floodfall Caverns animations. That was all done in Toon Boom. That was not coded anywhere. All of the buttons that you see that are clicked on, that was animated. That was not a mouse clicking on like a button. That had to be animated. Put that into perspective. So we have Rawbeard. We have all different sprites for him that match one another, and I love him. He's great. I would like to keep him as kind of like a reoccurring character. I think it'd be so fun. The same body shape, yeah, true. What song is playing right now? This is "It Takes Me" by Boom Kitty.
Speaking of Boom Kitty, give him his icon.
I want to say Rawbeard was one of the... He might have been the second thing that I drew after the swirl. Little island. Swirl thumbnail, where is it? Swirl Island, yeah, right here. I think this was first, and then next was Rawbeard. And then I knew that once I was doing this that I would like, oh, let me lean into this Rob Top, like practice. Let me lean into the aesthetic. And so then I went and made my own game icon. You can see how similar scaled everything is to the Sub-Zero icon. I used this one as direct inspiration. Let's see. You can kind of see some subtle changes in like the lighting. There's my letter in the top corner. The actual icon, some of the glow that it has. I got the border from a separate image, the one that's highlighted right here. The background is a direct screenshot from Swirl that I was working on. Because I had already started working on the level at the time. I was probably halfway done with the level by the time that this image was drawn. I was doing a lot of this kind of overlapping just as things were needing to get done and as things had the availability to be worked on, because it couldn't have been done in just any order. So this was made, and then I got the idea to do the teaser image that had the more lists coming soon, or new list coming soon. Do I have that? I think I have that in a different file. This is Rawbeard's text. This got imported into my animation software after all of the...
Ooh, it is pretty. Very nice.
She's doing some drawing right now, so that was what that was about.
Occasionally I show up for approval.
Really, really long canvas, but I had to wait until all of these were drawn to get them properly positioned into each of the middle thirds. And they're all in their own layer. Here's the world text, the original import, the concept art for World 2, me getting everything centered. These are all the lines for it. All the titles. Here's World 1. All these things had to be made. All of these things had to be hand-drawn. A lot of the text was able to be just like color shifted, but even that takes some effort because you have to get the correct colors down. That was its own thing. Text box. This is the file that I brought over all of the text from Rawbeard's dialogue boxes. And they're all located in this folder. What's in here? Oh yes. The scale for the text. I used 2 different images to get the heights and the scales for both of them. This folder is where all of the text actually is. So let me bring the black background in so you can actually see it. And then this layer is the one that has the text. This layer is the one that has the color mask. Hi, Bean.
Bean. Hi, Bean. Wait, sorry. Hello, Venus.
I may have infected her. So we can see all of the text and the words and colors that I had to choose to be highlighted and highlighted with color. All these were conscious decisions that had to be scaled and brought in and timed according to everything else in the animation file. All of these. Fire in the hole.
I was watching chat, not you. I was like, what? Who said that?
You beat Swirl? Let's go! Free 6 stars. This is the multi-islands, this is the game. The world sheet, I use this as reference to make Islands 1 and 2. I say that as I have the concept art open, but yeah, these were imported just like this, minus the background. They were copied from here, put into this file, and then centered using these lines to make sure that they would be in the middle of the screen, assuming that this entire layer got moved over 1920 pixels to either side. I'm talking precise measurements, precise movements, and tracing, or rotoscoping imported footage to match the easing exactly. The music is a little loud. Okay, let me get on that because we don't want that. Music is too loud. Okay, hopefully that's better. If it's not, just let me know. But thank you for bringing it to my attention. Goddamn. So the last big drawing file that I have to show is the promo. This is the image that I made, or this is the file that really needed the game icon to be made. I figured I would just make it in its own file and not have to worry about it. But all of this had to be planned. The swirl background and ground, had to take a screenshot of that and import it. Had to make my own version of RobTop's logo, including the colors at like the rim lighting, including on the sides of the letters. all that. The text had to be imported. The GD font browser, font generator site by colon is always a lifesaver for me. That's how I get all of my font and text assets. Have an image of Meltdown to get everything scaled properly, minus this, because this is left over from the second image that I made in this file. These 4 icons off to the side are the other mods that helped judge, in case there was anyone who was curious about what those are. From left to right, we have Callium. We have Dead Bushia, who's, I believe, in chat right now still. Liv. Woo! And Hogarts, who was in chat earlier. Hi, Bush! Hi, Bush! All of the mods made it in. Except for Bean, but she temporarily decided to not be mod so that she can make a entry into the contest. So,
and we love that for her.
And we love that for her. Can't stay long, but good work on the contest. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you liked it. Have a nice rest of your day. So there were actually 2 images. I hate you. No, I don't. No, I don't. I didn't exclude. You excluded yourself. Let's turn off most of these layers. Let's turn off all of that. Get rid of this folder. We'll turn these off and this on. Does that look familiar? Uploaded this about 24 hours before the results went up. 48 hours before this image was made, I did not plan on making this. Scope creep. I thought, you know what? Rob likes to release a song teaser. Let's have some fun with it. You know, I got a little bit more time.
Where's the harm?
Where's the harm? Let's try it out. And so this is what I came up with. People did end up guessing the correct song. However, I could not confirm nor deny it because that would be stupid. And Rob doesn't do that.
That would just give away the whole thing.
Right. That's the whole thing about it being a hint or a teaser, is that it's not...
surprise.
It's a surprise. Exactly. Convince that the volcano is a sailboat.
Dude, I
the silhouette.
I thought it was lava, because anybody who knows the difference between lava and magma knows that lava is on the outside of the volcano and magma is on the inside. I thought that image showed lava running down the side of the volcano and pooling on the ground in front of it. And then Jay walked me through it, and he was like, "Alright, what's the other form of lava?" And I was like, "No, because magma is what's on the inside, and that's not on the outside. Sorry, wait, that's on the outside, so it has to be lava." And he was like, "No, it's a diagram, Olivia." And I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, it was. I directly used images on Google Images of like science classroom textbook diagrams of like the difference of lava and magma. If you look up magma diagram, you've got my reference. Like if you go to Google Images and look that up, you are looking at the exact same things that I used to make this right here. This one was inspired by the 2.0 song teaser with Water Flame. The one with F777's Deadlocked in it as well. This one was like inspired stylistically. And then these were just for fun. I didn't know how else to represent these actions other than like a human character doing it.
I gotta say real quick, Vonners, I was so convinced the volcano was a sailboat for the longest time. Neither of us thought that, but we saw you message it in the Discord, And we looked at it for like 0.2 seconds. We were like, oh my god!
I see it now. Completely see it.
That was very funny. You know what it was?
Oh my gosh. Hogarts, no.
Oh, you guys
funny.
are what, brothers in misery.
Yeah, something like that. Water from the goat. Exactly. You guys want to know how long I've been teasing stuff for this? If you go onto my YouTube channel and go to my community page and scroll down, you'll see a post with a single emoji in it.
Is it the fire emoji? Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
If you, like, you don't have to do this. But if you have, like... For those of you who want to. If you go to my community tab and scroll down to the post that has one emoji, that's when I decided on the song to use. And was building the layout. A spiral? More like a swirl. How long ago is that timestamp? Like 4 weeks ago? 5 weeks, maybe, at this point? 1 month? You know, who's to say? With the level, all this promotional material having to be made, and the world map stuff, including the drawings and animations and sprites that had to be made, I was working on this. It felt almost like a full-time job for a month, you know? I would come home from my job and then work on this thing for multiple hours a day, for most of the days. Whether it was drawing, whether it was animating, whether it was building. I was pretty...
worked on in some shape or form.
Yes, very consistently for most of February and up until, like, the release of the video yesterday.
Yeah.
It was pretty constant.
Can't confirm.
I think you guys have seen all of the art that was made. And so what I would like to do now is transition over to the animation side of it. Because this thing couldn't have been possible without the animation. Making it feel as legit as it does. It couldn't have happened if it weren't for the animations that were here. And so here's the window, here's like the viewport essentially. What I want to do is show you this right here. This, what you're seeing, is one layer. One layer. Here's how many layers this project took to animate. All of these layers. Some of them are footage being imported. Most of them are duplicates because they're the little dots that pop up and they were copy and pasted, but they were still having to be timed. They were still having to be scaled. They were still having to be positioned in the right place. And they had to be done according to these islands. All of this had to be done according to the scale of the islands, right? All this. The background, it changes. It changes when we swipe pages. These page numbers, the dots, they change. The arrows on the sides of the screen, they scale up when they're meant to be pressed. I had to think about all of this. It was really fun thinking about all this, don't get me wrong. This was so cool. I love trying to make it as convincing as possible. What software is this? This is Toon Boom Harmony. If you're looking to get into animation, I would not recommend this software. It is an industry standard software, and I still use it because this is the software that I was trained on in college. I have a bachelor's degree in 2D animation, and I've been using this software for close to 5 years now. You're gonna focus for this stream? Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah. You're more than welcome to take notes and use like some of the stuff I've done as inspiration. Please, I would love for that to be the case. Turned out incredibly convincing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted it to look like it was modded. Toon Boom. Let me go ahead and type that out. Is this gonna... No, okay. Let me... Toon Boom. And there are different versions of it as well. I have Harmony, but there is a little bit of a more beginner-friendly version called Essentials. And then I think there's a one that's kind of in between Harmony and Essentials. Colon April Fool's video, that's funny. So yeah, let me try and just like run through it a little bit, and we can like go through like frame by frame. We can see up here. This is where my like timeline is. Right here, Rawbeard sprites. This is the parent to this entire folder right here. Let me just make sure it's all on screen. So these little black dots up here move everything in this folder, which is the scale. And so what I had to do was get footage of a text box being opened, and then I scaled it frame by frame. All these black boxes up here are me going in and manually scaling the frame. So all of this was hand done. And same thing with the the wipe for the text. I had to time out all the text, make sure that would it would give the viewer enough time to read all of like this message before the next one would play. And then also having to change the sprite for Rawbeard every time as well, in time with the text change. So all this had to be manually done, manually scaled, positioned, all that. Mark them on your map. This is honestly one of my favorite sequences. Is all of the skulls lighting up, or appearing. Once again, frame by frame, based off of reference from EVW's GD World playthrough. And timed out to be the exact same distance from one another in the timeline. And if I could find that... Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these. Perfectly timed out.
As all things should be.
As all things should be. I got a different animation. The last one scaled in from the center. Let me go back to it. We got the scale in from the center. I didn't want them all to be the same, so I did the exact same thing, but for the slide in from the left. Once again, frame by frame. Had to time it out to make sure that the stuff, the text was all revealed, and there was enough time. I worked a lot on this. Yes, thank you. This arrow, that was a last minute thing, but I thought it'd be pretty fun. And then this is what it looks like without the levels in between them. Click. You can see the coin counter will go up. That's how you know it's the first frame of after a level got completed. A level that had coins to collect got completed. Oh, and something that I actually didn't mention earlier. a lot of where the skulls are, there's a little reference around them that pertains to the level that is located here. So for example, level 1 is Cheery by Sparktwee.
Woo!
In Sparktwee's level, all of the spikes are colored red. So what better than to make red crystal spikes that surround the skull? Level after that uses Airborne Robots decoration, and so let's have like a little dance pad in the same style. Even with like little illuminated lights in the center to really make it pop. And let's make the grass pop up out of it too, so it looks like it's kind of embedded in there. Let's make a ladder, let's go down, let's have fun. The third level has like these chain objects that are in perfect circles that the ship has to dodge. Let's put like a broken chain at the base of it. Let's put a pool here. This one kind of felt like a cave. This one had stone decorations. This one was mechanical. It had gears in it. All these things had to go into the prep work. And this is where it gets, I think, pretty cool. Perfectionist final boss. Yes. You're gonna ask about that? Oh, cool. Cool. I'm glad that those details are hopefully being a little bit more appreciated now. So we get the pipe, we get the scale to have it come in. As you can see, there's no particle that shows up here. There's no particles. If you look in the video, there's like a green ring that emits from here, as well as some square particles that kind of just go bah! And fall. But bah! And bah! Those particles are in the final video, but they're not in here. Because I recorded them in GD, I had to animate the particles using the particle editor, key out the black, and then position the particles on top of the footage that got exported from here and put into DaVinci Resolve. Mario World 6, kind of, a little bit. So we click, and then the arrow shows up. The arrow is not there until after the pipe level is completed. And then we lead into World 2. Using frame by frame copied footage from EVW's GD World video. I imported that, the footage of the page turn and matched it exactly to make it as convincing as possible, even on 24 FPS. That's frame by frame, yes. And then I really like the idea of we swipe over and we get a second to look at it before the dots show up. We get a little bit of time to process. And once again, details. This level has some yellow crystals in them. This is stealthy ponies right here. Taco's second level, Dawnbreak, has some bushes in it. Kirinox's entries, I think, is the only level out of the contest that had scythes in them, which was kind of an interesting catch that I had. Hi, hello, hi. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
No, it's good morning, good evening, good night.
For Aeon?
Well, I just mean if you're saying it in the correct order.
Oh, well,
because
yes.
Afternoon doesn't come after evening.
That I was quoting Aeon.
He's incorrect.
Yes. I'll be incorrect with him.
Disgusting.
Hello, Cube Rob. Welcome to the stream. I'm going over all of the production stuff for the CC2 video, which ended up being a lot more than I thought it would. I like the idea of there being a bridge. Something about that. It's kind of fun. And then we got the eyes and the subtle teeth here to kind of indicate the final boss, right? And so we can see all of them light up, all the dots All the dots had to be positioned. I made the world map kind of allow for dots to be pretty evenly spaced. You can see there's an arrow over here, but no arrow over here. And then we get the last text box from Robbie. Yeah, we needed a club step monster guy. True. This coin animation thing was one of the last things I did before I exported this footage. It just goes down in increments of 3 because I already had these sprites in. But you don't really notice it because it's going so fast. You might not be able to unsee it now, in which case, I'm sorry.
In which case, haha!
But we go down to 0, and it fades back behind the dark overlay. And we get a fire in the hole joke that actually makes sense. And then we get boom, boom, poof. I'm like, what? What is that thing? And then this is where the cannon zone plays. In the file, it is a pretty abrupt change. You can see the background change color into the proper color. Had the background match the rim lighting on the island to really make it feel immersive and to kind of give this a little bit more of a special feel. I really loved the idea of having Swirl be a complete secret from everybody. Except for the mods. Except for the mods. And a couple people play tested. World 9 kind of. A little bit. A little bit. Because at the beginning of the video, Robbeard says there are 15 levels. And so if you watch the video, you get to this part and you're like, 15. Okay, we're done. And then the cannon appears and you're like, what? There's more? Which I really am hoping that that's kind of the feeling that that came across. Yeah. The skips you found in Swirl were crazy.
Someone else also chooses it.
Yeah. Oh, you could never do what Hogarth's did. I could never do what Hogarth's did. I don't know how you did that.
Shouldn't have done what Hogarth's did.
Nah, I'm glad they found it out though. Rainbow particles had to record a third set of particles that were all rainbow with the ring and then the squares popping out. Also had to be recorded and layered in post. Sorry for completely breaking the spider. Dude, I knew that there was something that I missed, and I'm so glad you found it.
He will also unfortunately have to kill you now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take you out back. So we click and we play. And then we get the 2 page turns where right as this one is done being clicked, this arrow pops up to emulate the idea that we could, in theory, go back here. Really trying to make it seem like the menu could be functional. We go this way, and the background changes nicely. It fades between all 3 gradients. And there's a chest here. And we click it. And then the glitch that was done in the video was done in post. They just froze a frame and just happened to cut the music in time. And then we get this cutscene of the chest. Building suspense. We get a couple of impact frames, kind of like this. These guys. And then that transitions into the congratulations screen. That was all animated in GD in the editor. That is a level that I had to make. I don't think I'm going to upload it because really there's not much of a point. But I did have to build it and time everything out. Get the effects working properly. And once all of that was done and recorded, they had to get spliced into the editing software. I used DaVinci Resolve. I used the free version. and had to figure out exactly which frame to start and end each clip in this file. Because, like, let's say if I go over here and I go to the beginning. If I go maybe a little bit farther in. Right, if I go here. A little bit farther. I pulled this sound effect directly from the sound files of GD. It's when you're playing the platformer levels and you're trying to get a coin in one of the last little boxes, but it says, like, no. Like, you didn't pass the requirement, you didn't get all 3 blue coins, or you didn't beat it in this time. This is the exact same sound effect for that. So that hopefully builds a little bit of a stronger connection to base game GD. But then, for the splicing clips, how I did that most of the time was this coin counter. The frame that it changes to the next number is when the fade from black happens. And that was a really reliable thing that I could do. So I had to time all of them out to be the exact same timing. Dependent on how many dots there are, you know, they were different lengths, but I essentially micromanaged everything for this whole project and did it myself. At times it was very stressful, because I was really worried that I would make such a dumb mistake. There was a version of the final render that I showed to the mods that I had a very big error in it that I didn't catch before I exported it. That was during QB's level, you could just hear the GD main menu loop at one point. It was just in there. And it was because I had some, like, mistimed stuff in the editing software, but all the music was added for the menu in post, all of the sound effects were added in post. There's no sound effects that, like, got exported in this. So that all had to be timed, and the audio balancing had to be done there. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. I hope the past hour and a half has kind of shown that this wasn't just something that I whipped together.
What?
Hi, Max. Welcome to it. I'm just kind of going over all the work that I had to do for the video that I uploaded yesterday. This whole thing is definitely a product of scope creep. Again, I really am wanting to reiterate that because I do think it's necessary to talk about that scope creep can be very dangerous. It can be very rewarding at the same time seeing this thing evolve into a project that you're proud of, but at the same time, be careful because none of what you have seen today so far was planned when the initial announcement video for Contest 2 went live. I did not plan on making a level. I did not plan on drawing concept art and drawing whole art pieces that had to match a style that I was not practiced in at all. I had to learn a whole new art style for this. This is a textbook definition case of scope creep, I think. But I do think it's very important to bring up because it can lead to very polarizing outcomes. I enjoy work like this, and so for me, while it was stressful, I think all of the effort was definitely worth it because it very much feels in the final version of the video that went up yesterday that it feels as official as someone like me can get. You know, trying to match the art style, trying to match the timings of crossfading, making the sound balancing work well. It really was a lot, but it was really fun to figure out. I don't think that a project like this is meant for everyone. and that can be a little bit demotivating to hear for some people who are hoping to do something similar to this. If you want to do something like this, I highly encourage you to pace yourself. I was able to get this done because I enjoy doing work like this. I love working on projects.
He was able to nose to the grindstone. But let's say that you're someone who also has school to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, know your situation before you give in to scope creep, essentially.
Absolutely.
And if you feel yourself starting to pull into scope creep, maybe take a step back and take evaluation of, like, everything that you've got going on in the world around you, and, like, see what you're able to do. Like, maybe you can't do all of the things that you wanted to do with scope creep, but you can do some of them. But definitely know the balance.
Yeah. I knew that I wanted to get the results video out as soon as possible. I also knew how much work this was going to take, and I still underestimated it, but I still made my deadline because this is just something that I can't help but enjoy doing. So I highly encourage all of you that if you are wanting to make a project similar to this, know your environment, know your surroundings, know yourself and your work ethic, and your capabilities. Really try to essentially look at you and your life and yourself in a third-person view and consider what is feasible and how willing you are to make it feasible. If you have all the time in the world, that's probably going to be a lot easier than, oh, I have a thing. I have a deadline in a couple of weeks. Because this did not just take a couple of weeks. What you have witnessed during this stream is a month and a half of near constant labor. I really hope that I'm not downplaying the severity of what I have shown you today, because it is a lot. Especially for someone like me, who I have a life. I have a girlfriend. I have a job.
You have a dog and a cat.
I have a dog. I have a cat. I have friends. I have relationships that I need to uphold. All while doing this work that I can't help but adore. Right? I do have a job, yes. I know, surprise, right? I need to pay my bills.
Ugh.
My student loans.
Ugh, don't say that.
So, I think that is all I have to show. But if you guys have questions about anything to do with the contest, now is the time. I have...
The floor is yours.
The floor is yours, yes. I feel like I have shown you everything that I want to show you. However, I honestly don't feel like I'm done streaming.
There are some things in chat that I saw.
Okay.
I am Maxim Official. Ask who the special guest was. Hi, that's me. I'm Olivia Meister.
Also known as my girlfriend, but not solely known as my girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm a special guest. I'm special.
Yeah, you are.
Bush says, my manga is the final boss of Scope Creep. It was supposed to be a single chapter one-shot. Hey, Bush, how many chapters are you in at this point?
Like 31? Something like that.
Let Bush say it.
Well, I don't know. I might have the number wrong. She might need to correct me.
Including the one that you were working on during your stream.
Mm-hmm.
The one where you had to play Machinery of the Stars. 36 total, including bonus. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good definition of scope creep. But I do think good things can come from scope creep.
Absolutely.
Which is, I feel you are really showing like the bad side of it. it's not always a negative thing.
No, I don't think this is necessarily a bad case because of how much I enjoy the work.
But I mean, you're also talking very doomsday. But another thing, Stealthy Pony says, my software projects build up such massive scope creep so easily. The amount of times I've rewritten the same project from scratch is wild. I cannot tell you how many times I did that when I was in my 3D modeling animation classes. There was a project called Emma. And we were given a completely done, like, 3D model, and we had to rig her and animate her doing a couple of actions, maybe jumping jacks, or I don't know if we actually had to do that. I think a lot of people opted to do that. So, you know, it's like, you know, the tradition is established and then people follow suit. I think I restarted the Emma project 3 times. And it was so bad, and I hated it. I hate the Emma project. But yeah, I can relate to that. I don't know if that qualifies as scope creep because it was a school assignment, but it did end up taking me like months to do. So maybe that's another thing of like, you know, break it down into sizable chunks. If you want scope creep, don't immediately shut it down, but make it digestible.
Yes, make
like,
it digestible,
if
absolutely.
you are okay, if you don't have a deadline for your project and you want to have it reach all of these cool heights, by all means do it, but give yourself an hour a day to work on it. Like, don't sacrifice other things that need to be done in order to make your good product. And the 360 has a really good point, especially for your community. 2.2 was a product of scope creep.
Absolutely.
And it took 7 years, everybody. And everybody hated that. As far as I know, everybody hated it. So I think 2.2 could have released earlier.
Yep.
Or parts of it could have released as in like 2.17. You know, like
kind of like how it is a little bit now with the like click between steps and the trigger tracing features, like smaller things.
Like smaller, but we still don't have explorers. But you know what? If that means that 2.2 can come out 7 years later and not 9 years later, like, I think that's okay.
Yep.
That's my piece.
Yes. Scope creep can be scary.
But it also can lead to some really, really cool things.
I'm really proud of what I've made. I am okay with the fact that I got sucked into scope creep because this is something that I never thought I would do, and yet I feel so accomplished after all of the work I've put in. Because I think after this stream, you all can get a much better sense of how much work had to go into this. It didn't just work the first time, right? A lot of steps had to be made in order to get something to work in the first place. And so I've got the animation on loop right now, just as kind of like background visual, but now is really the time. Now the floor is yours. That we get to chat about anything.
Now that I've said my piece.
Yeah. 360, yes, you sent me a DM. When can you expect a response? So the question that you had asked me was something that I actually want to talk about. And it's something that I alluded to at the start of the stream, and I know that not everyone was here for that, so I'm having no problem reiterating it. This is a blanket statement to everybody whose entries did not make the cut. Just because your levels did not get in does not mean they are bad levels.
There were some levels that didn't make it in that I was genuinely so bummed that they didn't make it, because they were just fun to play and they were well decorated and everything, and they were lovely levels.
They had their own charm to them,
but they just didn't follow essentially the rubric close enough.
Yes, that is
amazing
ultimately
levels. But they didn't need it.
That is ultimately what it comes down to for every single entry that didn't make the full showcase video. Is just
beautiful, but not
there were
what it was
some
supposed to be.
rules that were established in the contest that weren't followed, and because you had 4 out of the 5 criteria checks, or 3 out of the 5, or in some cases 1 out of 5, like
They just could not be accepted.
they just didn't match the heart of the contest. Not that the levels were made without intent for the contest, but rather they didn't fit the vision. Again, not to say that they were bad levels by any means. Again, I liked the majority of the entries. But the Venn diagram that I'm hoping is kind of starting to be drawn in your guys' heads is there's one side that is levels that I like and levels that did make the contest, and there is some overlap. There is some
You
overlap.
said did make the contest.
Oh, didn't make the cut.
You only liked some of the winners.
Yeah, I only like some of the levels that were in my contest. But ultimately, it does just come down to not all of the rules were followed.
Yeah, and that's it.
It is really it. Like,
And it was very sad.
yeah. I want to be as open and transparent about this because I do think that is good for creatives to hear, is
So next time, everybody, follow the rules.
if you follow
me
the
sad.
rules to the best of your ability, most likely for a contest like this, where there is no specific winner amount, most likely you will have better luck next time, assuming that the rules are just adhered to a little bit more closely.
Don't make my heart break so many times. Follow the rules.
Yeah, just make it easy for us.
Please, I don't want to spend another 6.5 hours. Sorry, 5.5 hours. Please.
So, if anyone... Oh, also unrelated, but your friend took your tips seriously and is
yeah, I saw that.
improving a lot. Oh, that's awesome!
Congratulations to that friend.
Yes, congrats to them. That's huge. I'm glad that I could help in any way. That's awesome. I'm very honored. Okay. Any other questions for me or for us? It can be about like the
Questions, comments, concerns.
the judging process, anything about the production of this entire project. It can be about Swirl, it can be about the level itself that I made, it can be about the warp zone level, it can be about the cannon zone level, it can be about cutting together any of the promotional materials, any of the videos. Any questions about literally any part of the production or the final version of the results video that went out yesterday, now is the time to ask. You have some, but you can't remember. That's okay. If no one has any questions, that is perfectly fine, but now is the time to ask them. This video will remain public after the stream is done, so you guys can watch this at any time. You can put this on as like background noise. I don't care. You can come back for a gauge for how much effort went in if you're wanting to do something similar, or if you had a question
you learn about scope creep again.
Yeah, if you want to learn about scope creep, if you ask a question and then forget what my response to was later, this will be up for you for whenever that moment strikes.
If you want to hear my awesome voice.
My awesome bob-awesome.
Well, I don't show up very often.
That's true.
I'd show up more often if you did more PvZ streams.
Was there any thought that went into the 2 levels to transition from the warp zone from Island 1 to 2, or was it just whatever happened to line up? That's a good question. So, I knew that at some point in the production, I got the idea, hey, let's have like a transitionary level to actually like make it feel like the 2 islands are connected. That was one of my problems with GD World, is that they were both just kind of there. They didn't feel like they really led from one to the next, and so that was a solution I wanted to solve. So it's like, okay, we can have some pipes.
But you didn't solve a solution, you solved a problem.
Solve a problem, yeah. I liked the idea of having it be a small little platformer level, nothing that would take time away from the result, but something that would kind of add to the overall experience and make it feel more immersive. So what I did was I built a little layout, essentially, if you could call it that, and got the pipe functionality working. And it works both ways. Fun fact, if you go into Warp Zone, you can access Area 1 and Area 2, and then go back to Area 1 if you'd like. The pipes are essentially like reverse compatible with each other. So I got the functionality of the level working probably 2 weeks. A week. A week before the winners were decided. I would say probably February 20th-ish is when the layout was made for that level. And then I knew whatever order the levels would be showcased in, the end of level 8 would be the first half, and the start of level 9 would be the second half of the pipes. So they are meant to directly transition from the last level of World 1 and to the last level of World 2. They are meant, like, I copied the hex codes of the colors for the levels to make it as seamless as possible. So the layout was made first, and then it was decorated after the levels were decided in the order they were decided in. How did I come up for the name Rawbeard? That's a good question. I wanted the shopkeeper character to be pirate inspired, sort of as a little bit of a reference to the fact that the whole reason that this contest existed in the first place was because of a level that I released last year, Shiver Me Timbers, pirate-themed RobTop inspired level that I made just kind of in my off time when I needed a break from projects like Sick and Dash and Mountain Level once again. All this is detailed in the CC2 announcement video, but Rawbeard as a character, I wanted to keep a little bit of that pirate theme. We haven't gotten a shopkeeper with a pirate theme, and I think that there's a lot of interesting dialogue options that kind of came from that.
Y'all, I tried to get him to say me booty instead of my booty. Get out there and get me booty.
Yeah. She did.
I tried, chat.
But
as a person who loves pirates, I tried.
She does love pirates. But what was I saying? The inspiration from, yeah, it was keeping in theme with the previous shopkeepers, kind of giving them their own identity. And then Rawbeard, the name came from pirates that have names like Blackbeard, Greybeard, things like that.
Greybeard's
and so
not
I was,
a pirate, it's from Skyrim.
So I was like, okay, let's find a name that kind of that leads into the beard naming convention for pirates. And so I looked at all the shopkeepers' names, and I was like, there's Scratch, there's the shopkeeper, there's Popbore. And Popbore kind of caught my attention. I was like, oh yeah, Rob does kind of like being a little bit referential to his own name a lot of the times.
Being a little cheeky.
Being a little cheeky, yeah, a little meta. So I was like, okay, Rawbeard. Rawbeard. Okay, that's his name. It was pretty it was as easy as that, to be quite honest. I'm really proud of Rawbeard as a character. I love him. I hope he can show up in more things in the future. Most intense EDM in the background. Yeah, it's the Beat Saber soundtrack, and that is all like EDM music, I would say. At least all the original soundtrack is mostly EDM. You saw the cool callback in Swirl with the same spike in the start and the end. I'm glad you caught that. That was intentional. The hoping to bookend it a little bit, just make it feel a little bit thought out, a little bit more planned and consistent. Consistency is key, I think, for things like that. Do I plan to make CC3 as big as CC2?
Well, here's the thing. You didn't plan to make CC2 this big either.
Right. So, in terms of complexity and added effort outside of the editor, no. I do not plan on having CC3 end up ballooning in the same way that CC2 has. I have a plan for CC3. I have an idea pretty locked in currently. And it shouldn't allow for this sort of practice to occur. I think it'll end up being way more similar to CC1 in terms of scale, in terms of deadlines, in terms of timelines. It should be more similar to CC1. I do have an idea. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I do have an idea for a future creator contest, possibly CC4, maybe CC5, that is essentially a spiritual successor to CC2, but it is not going to be CC3. So you can look out for that in the future if something similar to this sounds desirable, I guess. Appealing, yeah. Will I use anything of this contest in any other video or project? And will you make something similar aside to CC? I have a bunch of other things in the works. I've got Pipeworks. No, that's already out. I think the biggest projects that I've got working in the works right now are Stick and Dash Episode 3 and Mountain Level. Both of which are their own behemoths that this project doesn't even compare to in terms of scale. This project is kind of in its own weird little nebulous space where it's more and less than other projects that I've done. It kind of hits this weird middle ground.
It's more of different stuff.
Yes,
it's hard to compare. It's like, do I like waffles more or do I like steak more? Like they're two different things. I mean, the answer for me is obvious.
It's steak.
It's steak. I'm a carnivore. But it's a really hard thing to compare. Like it'd be much easier to compare like steak versus, I don't know, tacos, because they're both dinner foods, and waffles and pancakes. It's a much easier comparison to make.
Yes. So, I can tell you this. There were some assets that were used in this that I actually got from Stick and Dash, my stick figure Geometry Dash animated series. They were really small. Like, the back arrow in the top left corner, this was taken from like a Stick and Dash sprite sheet that I had already made. And then for some of the promotional material for the contest, I'm trying to think of what it was. I just had it in my head. Oh goodness, what was it?
Give me a hint.
I might have to pull up the thing again. Oh, what was it? Some other stuff got brought over, but I can't exactly remember what. But they were brought over from Stick and Dash. I think it was more menu buttons. Oh! The first shot in the video where it's that fake main menu, all of the buttons that were on screen were taken from my Stick and Dash files. So I already had those buttons scaled and positioned to exactly how they would be in GD, because I already had to recreate the main menu for Stick and Dash previously. So things probably won't be brought over from this project, but things from other projects were brought over into this to make it just a little bit simpler. Maybe if Stick and Dash Chapter 3 released this year, it'll be nominated for an awards that you're gonna make for 2027. I honestly don't think Episode 3 is gonna come out this year. I'm gonna say it.
It's a biggin. He's been working on it, don't get us wrong, but it's a biggin.
I've been working on Episode 3 for... It's been pretty on and off, but it has been in the works for a year and a half now. I don't want to say how far along I am, but I don't think I can reasonably get it done this year. It is massive. It will be the longest episode yet. Without fail. I will say that.
And how long was Stick and Dash 2?
15 minutes if you count the credits and the previously on section. Previously on. Forgot about previously on. You gotta head out? Okay, that is okay. I'm pretty much done here in terms of showing information.
Bye!
Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us ramble for a little while. I wouldn't say I'm burned out, but I do have other things that I need to focus on that aren't even Geometry Dash related. So I kind of already have this built-in recuperation time for things involving GD. So I appreciate your concern. I do not feel burnt out. I do not feel burnt out. I feel really good about going forward. Are there any other questions?
Questions, comments, concerns?
That you have for us? Oh, you made a level or a collab part using Light It Up? That's funny. I like Chamelea's music now. I actually didn't when I first started listening to him, but I've really come around to Chamelea's sound.
I still haven't.
You like Spin Eternally.
Yes, but I don't like Final Boss Chant.
Final Boss Chant is noise, mostly.
Yeah, to me, Final Boss Chant feels like, okay, you got through that part of the song. Here's your reward. Here's actual music.
Fun stream. Yeah, I think we're starting to reach the end of the stream. We really have been mostly just talking, mostly me, for 2 hours.
It has been mostly you.
But if anyone has any other questions, now is the time to ask.
Or join the Discord server, and there is a channel exclusively for questions to Jay over here.
Mm-hmm. That way they don't get lost in the conversations that happen between other people. There's a place where people can just go and say, "Hey, what's this about?"
And it doesn't even have to be pinged. Like,
nope.
It's just a built-in thing.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that have Discord, obviously.
Yeah.
Or if this stream convinced you to get it, we will be waiting for you.
I wonder if there's been any more people that's joined just based off of the stream alone.
Or even not just this stream, but other streams.
Yeah. It doesn't look like we have any more questions.
That means that I can show Jay my art. It's not done yet.
I've been taking peeks. I like the color palette.
I color pick.
Good. You are hearing Camellia Light It Up. Yeah, it's part of the Beat Saber soundtrack.
Light it up, pop, pop. I was gonna stop there. Am I in the mood to be copyright claimed?
Yeah, this song is featured in Beat Saber, so that's why it's in this playlist.
Yeah, we just have the Beat Saber playlist going.
Banger playlist.
But we can't hear it, so it'd be really funny if, like, during the part where we're like, hey, scope creep is very serious and you need to be, like, very careful if Final Boss Chant was playing. And we're just like, be careful! And you're like, what? Hey, if you like EDM, Gas 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 is a really good song.
Honestly, after I finished the layout for your level for the contest, I don't know if you felt happy about it.
It's not
game mode centered. The contest levels did not need to be game mode centered.
It needed to be one mechanic. For reference, Swirl is not game mode centered. It is focused on the camera controls.
Camera controls was the gimmick that I went for.
Jay said this yesterday. It was, you were not trying to reinvent the wheel either, because there were some levels that people submitted that just created a whole new game mode. Or rather, not game mode, but like a gimmick essentially. Yeah. I loved some of the levels. We couldn't include them because that wasn't the point of the contest. The point was to reinforce the wheel, not reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
I think it's a really good way of wording it.
I thank you.
You're welcome. I'm coloring one pixel at a time right now. It's taking very long.
I had to do the same thing with the grass.
Okay, thank God.
Don't worry.
Hi, Taco.
Hello. Love to hear your thoughts on why you picked each level. So, I
think that might need to be a separate stream, honestly. And that's kind of what I thought this level was going to be. Sorry, it's level. What this stream was going to be was going through the different levels and being like, this is what qualified. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen. But it might be a bit complicated to do that. And it might be more so, this is why this level didn't make it. But we don't want to be like, haha, you didn't make it.
I have no plans to review the levels and say why this level made it and this level didn't. I do not want to further emphasize the difference between the levels that passed and the levels that did not pass, because I can imagine, I can empathize or sympathize, whatever the word is, that the creators whose levels did not make it in don't need the extra attention.
Well, they could also, some people might appreciate getting the extra, like, okay, well, why didn't my level make it? It followed all the rules, but if we didn't pass it, then clearly it didn't, but if they don't know which one...
Yes. So that's why I would like to have my DMs open.
Yeah, like, if your level didn't make it, just shoot a DM.
You guys are able to DM me.
Or if you want to know my specific reasoning, I'm also in the server.
You can ask all of the mods. I'm pretty sure they would all be okay with it.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, I'm speaking for me. I would be okay with it.
Yeah. I will respond to those DMs. I'm not going to go into anything specific here because I feel like constructive criticism per entry varies wildly.
Yeah.
We got quite a range of entries, and so I feel like me saying a more blanket statement publicly, like if your entry didn't make it, then
it just didn't follow the rules.
It just didn't follow the rules. Exactly. But
don't mean it bad. I need to emphasize that if there's anything you take away from this stream, it's scope creep can be good, it can be bad, you just have to know how to handle it, and if your level didn't make it, it doesn't mean it was bad.
And look at all the effort that was put into this whole video.
But like...
Who cares about that?
Who cares about that part?
So, the one, you sent me a DM, I will get to you later today. We will have a conversation, and hopefully you will be able to understand where our decisions came from, and hopefully it yields to constructive criticism so that you can improve your craft. Because
I thought you were going to say your crap. Like, wow!
No, I would never.
That would be so rude!
That would be.
Oh, Bush also says they're down, so that's another mod that's up for it.
You got 3 out of the 5. Bean won't be able to because she wasn't
a judge.
She wasn't a judge, so she probably won't be able to get involved in this process.
But there's still
You've got 3 out of the 5.
There's still Hoggarts.
Yeah.
And oh my god, sorry everybody, I'm getting distracted by my drawing. Hoggarts, and is it Kiernox the other one? Who is
Callium.
Callium. I knew it was like a C or a K. Sorry, Kiernox. I do love you. I do. I love you, Lutro.
So yes, to those people who...
Also, if you're curious about why you got in, I mean, that might be a little more complicated to talk about, but that is also a thing you can message us about. I mean, like, hey, I'm curious about why it made it.
Yes. You we want to be transparent now that the entire process is over. We had to be secretive to keep the judging process as fair as possible, but I put together like Google Forms, and we voted on a purely democratic basis, and it was majority vote. That is essentially the voting process.
And there was actually a second round of judging, because
For some of the levels.
for some, I think like 5 or 6 of them.
I want to say 8.
Maybe
8 to 10.
It was definitely single digits,
Okay.
and it was, we are all split on these levels, so let's go in and look at these ones more closely and see if they make it or don't.
Let's try and reevaluate to see if judging might have been too harsh or too lenient. We took our time judging. It happened fast, but we did take our time.
And we took it seriously.
Yes, absolutely. So
I almost died.
if you guys wish to DM me, Liv, or Bush about why your entry did or did not make it, you can DM us. The one I will get to you later today, that is a promise.
But also keep in mind, if people don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
I feel like that's a reminder that needs to be said on the internet every so often.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't want to talk about it, don't pressure them into it.
Yep. Especially for, I think, a creating scene where skill ranges can vary, it is very important to be sensible that the person you are talking to, no matter how it looks, put time and effort and thought into it, and that should be reflected in the constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And that is something that I will do for anyone who's looking to get constructive criticism.
But if you go into it like, hey, jerk, why didn't you pass my level? Like, they're probably not going to respond.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wouldn't blame them for it.
Yes.
I'm not saying you guys would do that, but like, just saying.
Just as a general.
A general internet guideline.
Yes. So I will not be pointing out, I will not be going over the levels publicly. We've already seen the results, and hopefully the result video kind of gives an idea as to what we were looking for. And my hope, my dream, is that for everyone else, you're able to look at the levels that passed and look at your own and hopefully be able to dissect a little bit more in depth and see, okay,
They did this, I did this.
my structuring is off, my color choices don't fit, my gameplay is whack, like
My decorations.
whatever the case may be. It varies wildly between every entry, which is why I will not be going over them publicly.
Yes, also there's something to be said about constructive criticism from other people, but also being able to look at your own art and being
From
able
like
to
third person.
Yeah, and being able to identify objectively, like, okay, well, this needs a little bit of work and this doesn't. Like,
Yes.
there is something to be said about that. Like, there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism, but you also need to be able to learn how to give yourself constructive criticism.
Absolutely. Honing your eye.
Yeah.
Will CCs be every year?
That'd be fun.
I don't know if it works out that way. That would be awesome. I'm not aiming to have one every year. But so far I'm 2 for 2. So let's see what happens in 2027. I have multiple creator contest ideas lined up. I know what CC3 is already, and that's going to be later this year. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will be this year.
You just need a bit of a breather first.
Yes, I need some time to focus on some other things for a bit.
He needs to work on himself. That's what everybody always says.
I just need to
just
focus
need some
on
space.
me. I just need some space. Creator Contest 3 will be later this year. I know what the idea is. I can pretty confidently say that. But it won't be for a couple months. Let's see, what are people saying? Let me talk to you guys about it just to go further in your thoughts. Yeah, that is completely fine as long as it's in like DMs.
You're not harassing.
That is my only request, is that it's it's civil for everyone who wants to get in contact. You are more than welcome to, as long as it's a conversation and you know that it's the things that we say are coming from a place of wanting to see the product improve and ability to be thought out a little bit, and not a place of your level sucks. That is the opposite of what we want. We do not want anyone to feel like that.
Yeah.
Your entry didn't make it. You finished it too late. Oh, you don't even know if you introduced the mechanic. Well, there's going to be more contests in the future, so maybe in the meantime, this is a good opportunity to kind of practice those skills that you can kind of see in retrospect might need a little bit of work.
Yeah, you could also still go through the process and reapply anything we've said, where it's like, okay, given my level in its finished state, like once you finish the level, look at the people who won and be like, well, would mine have made it? Just as a fun little thing. And then if you think you did, identify why, and if you think you didn't, identify why.
Yes.
Either way, you'll probably come out as a better creator at the end of it, just because you'll have a more rounded understanding of the way, like, gameplay and decoration and, like, specific styles. Like, something you learn when you go to any sort of art school is, I mean, let's say you're more confident in doing art that has cell shading. For those of you who don't know, that's like the typical shading that's in, like, cartoons nowadays, like Family Guy, Steven Universe, like
flat colors, flat shadows.
No,
flat highlights.
Not outlining the shadows either. Like, say that someone has a shadow on their chin, they're not outlining that. It's just cell shading. Correct me at any point if I'm incorrect.
No, you're right.
And let's say you're more comfortable in that, but if you go to art school, you still will have to learn how to do drawings in, like, charcoal. Like, you're still going to have to learn the different art styles. So, I don't think it's a bad idea to look at the way a creator does it. In this case, it was RobTop. But there's also, like, it's knots, right? Knots?
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea to go in and try and make a level that looks like Knots. Or a level that looks like Rafer. Or, anybody who has a distinct level style. And then, I think, if you find other contests in this similar vein, you'll probably be able to do them better and do them faster. I also love Knott's style. I miss him.
Knott's is amazing.
But you'll be able to be like, okay, well, even if you haven't done, like, say it's a creator that you don't know, like, they somehow flew underneath your radar, and you want to participate in this person's contest who is trying to emulate this art style, you would be able to have a faster time, like, looking at the levels and seeing what makes them that style. Like, I don't think I could build in RobTop style, but I know what it looks like.
I want to do a stream where I teach Liv how to build. I want that to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't need to, but I'm saying this publicly.
Which I think is it wrapping way back around to the start of the stream. I think at the start of the stream, Jay said that like, there is, like, RobTop has a much more simple style, and
especially for the spin-off games.
The creator space in Geometry Dash right now is insane. I do not feel comfortable making a level that would look like Rafer's. I love Rafer's levels. Would look like Alkali's. I love Alkali's levels. I love that I can always tell that it's Alkali's because there's always some sort of rainbow. I am a big fan. But, like, there's all these levels that are coming out now. I mean, Orbit. Everybody knows Orbit right now.
Everyone knows Orbit.
There's no way you would ever catch me making a level that looks like that, because it's too daunting of a level to try and make. And Jay will be like, this is the state of Geometry Dash right now. And every time I will respond, you guys did this to yourself. Like,
we kept pushing the editor when we had no features to mess with. No new features to mess with.
but the thing is that the community could have also, like, the video that we were watching earlier today, that, like, the guy was shutting down on anything that was sort of minimalistic.
Mm-hmm. We watched Rarewin's video where he apologized about his previous stances on Levolution, for context.
It's like responses like that. His initial video was just tearing down anything that isn't overly decorated and it doesn't look like it needs an epilepsy warning and like everything like that. I had so much fun watching the video that Jay put out for the Contest 2 results because I didn't feel like my eyes were hurting. Like, I could see everything that was happening and I wasn't getting flashbanged every 2 seconds.
The objects that were put on screen were used in the way that they were initially designed to be used and still look appealing. They weren't combined and skewed and rotated and pulsed in nuts ways.
I think that people have a tendency to overuse pulsing right now.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
It's like, and I don't have a problem with pulsing, or I don't know if it's called this, but like when people are playing a level and the ground and like any structures that come down from the ceiling are changing color, like they're kind of moving through a color wheel. I don't think that would technically count as pulsing, but maybe it does in your guys' terms. But I would never make a level with the way that Geometry Dash creator-made levels are right now. It is too scary, quite frankly.
Especially with all the new 2.2 features, there's a lot of game-changing stuff that's just available from the get-go. It's a daunting task now, more than ever.
It's too scary. So the idea of a stream where I learn how to do Geometry Dash, like how to make them, is a little, not like scary because obviously it'll be like I'm learning, but the idea of like if we didn't stream it and then I made a minimalistic level and published it and then everybody just ripped into it because it was under decorated, but it was as decorated as I wanted it to be or something like that. It's like, can everybody just take a breath?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
everyone has to start somewhere.
That's my piece on the state of creator-made levels right now. Y'all need to calm down. So that way people...
The general y'all, not like you in chat.
Yeah, and it's not that you... Like, I love Knott's levels. I like Rafer, I like Alkali. And they have very busy going. I mean, I love the level that Kiernox made with... It's a heliotrope ending, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the full name, heliotrope ending?
Yes.
Chat, play it. I love it. But it's a very visually busy level. It's on the lower end, don't get me wrong. But it's nothing like Stereo Madness.
It's nothing like Stereo
Madness. Yeah, Alkali isn't even that complicated. But it's definitely not Stereo Madness.
Correct. It's not clutterfunk, it's not blast processing. It's its own thing.
But it's just like... I'm not saying that they need to stop making those types of levels that visually much. Mm-hmm. But I do think for the levels who do more minimal deco need to be like not torn down and more recognized as
less
a good
effort.
Level.
Yeah.
Like people need to like not say that they're less effort. Like there's a difference. I mean, it's like you make a choice whether to take your paintbrush and paint on the canvas. And painting on the canvas versus not painting are just as much of a choice. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to know when to not do it, And it's a little scary. Like, I have a feeling that if I posted a level that was minimally designed, people would be mad about it.
If it was your first level that you ever
If I didn't
uploaded,
say that, though.
Well, people would find out.
If I just put it out, and people would be like, why did they publish this unfinished level.
The general user of GD doesn't build feature-worthy levels, and
Because
that is
feature-worthy is ridiculous right now.
and that is the exact same crowd who thinks that they know all that they're talking about. They understand every aspect of the level editor. They understand composition. They understand color theory. They understand structuring, appealing gameplay. Like, people are just so quick to say this level is trash when it's just a level that isn't the next orbit.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem
There was
that we share.
a level that somebody made in the server, and they had posted it, and the replies to it were just bad. Like, just the word bad.
Mm-hmm. What's
And,
bad about it?
Like, no idea.
The
We have
gameplay, the
absolutely no
colors?
idea, like, what was wrong with it in that person's opinion. But I also agree, Bush, like, I don't know if it was peak. Obviously, I'm gonna say it was peak. But I do think it was really good level design because it wasn't in your face.
Mm-hmm.
It was really pretty, but it wasn't overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like right now, unless you make a level that's overwhelming, it's not going to get featured. People are going to hate on it.
It's not going to get mythic.
It's going to get buried underneath everything else.
That's the problem with, I think, the mythic rate, is that it's...
And also, like, I feel like you guys would enjoy making levels more if you would calm down.
Stop putting so much pressure.
Well, yeah, because people put
Yes.
pressure to make incredibly complex things where it's like people would be happy with less. Like, you guys are doing it to yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give minimalism a try. Like, I hate the corporate minimalism where Firefox is just like an orange to pink swipe now. But, like, minimalism in other terms is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And that is one of the biggest points that I wanted this contest to accomplish, is say, hey, you creators, calm down.
Take a step back.
Let's take a step back. Let's make something that still looks good, but it's simple. It's not a strain to the eyes. It doesn't take months or years to make.
Yeah, like,
And
if you
still
make-
accomplishes a goal of being a GD level, not a animated, pulsing nightmare of a music video.
And it's like, you also, if you guys spend less time jam-packing your levels full of any object under the sun, you'll have time to make more levels. And you'll be able to play around more in the game that you want to play. And it's just like, you know, like, I'm glad, like, Stealthy Pony just said in chat that, they need to find entertainment in people saying it's bad while not providing any actual feedback. I do think that is a good thing, but it also kind of sucks that you had to do that. Like, yeah, the 1-360. Enjoying the game? Possible.
Impossible.
That's great, Taco, that none of your levels have taken longer than 40 hours. I am so proud of you.
I can't say the same, but I'm also very proud of the levels that I've made. It's because
Exactly.
I wanted to try to go for that next step, the Deep Vine Pass, the Floodfall Caverns, the mountain level. I've been working on mountain level for almost 2 years.
It's just like with Jamatag's little mountain town.
Yeah,
Like,
it got too big for his own good.
calm down. Just,
And that
Maybe-
isn't to say that every level needs to calm down.
No.
Taco, you want to build a
Maybe.
Rafer style level? Go for it. Not what we're saying is not every level should try and surpass your last. You can ebb and flow between different amounts of scope, and that should be okay. But for whatever reason, right
It's
now,
not.
it's not. And this contest was supposed to help bridge that gap a little and make simpler levels okay.
what's so funny, everybody, is that I kind of want to make a video, that is just my Geometry Dash hot takes as a person who doesn't play Geometry Dash. As a person who is like, on the outside looking in, essentially. Like, don't get me wrong, I've played Geometry Dash. I mean, I wouldn't be qualified to judge. Thank you, Taco!
She's beaten base after base. I think she knows what she's talking about.
But I can't let it go. It's killing me, everybody.
Okay, everybody, right now, yes or no, is Can't Let Go like the first real difficulty curve in Rob Top's progression? Yes or no? Just wait.
Taco says yes.
Yes.
Maxon says yes.
See?
Shout out to Ralia, say that they love Deep Fine Pass and Football Caverns.
No! The one, what's your first difficulty curve level, do you think?
It's obviously Back on Track. Dude, I actually love Back on Track. I did make a level with the song. It's a jokey level. It's called, like, Gorl on Track, like Gorl on Track. And I put a line of blocks at the bottom, and then 2, like, I don't know, slopes. And you just ding, ding, and then it's the end of the level.
And all 3 coins are, like, free.
Yeah. Like, it's a very minimal level. But I've made one. But yeah, my top 2 hot takes are everybody needs to calm down, take a chill pill, and levels don't need to be sight readable. Call me crazy. It doesn't need to be sight readable to be a level. You think Twilight Princess as a whole is sight readable? Like the game by Nintendo? No. But you know what? I want to play the game that I bought. You know how annoyed I would be if I beat the game that I spent $60 on in like 2 hours? No, thank you. No, thank you. There was a specific, I love GD Clone.
I love GD Clone.
One of his videos that we watched where he was complaining about the level not being sight readable. And he meant it, like, seriously.
Sight readability is 100% dependent on the gameplay and the difficulty of the level.
And you know what? I was a band kid since, like, 6th grade, and I'm familiar with sight reading. And you know what? It's cool when you're able to get pretty far into the song by sight reading, but there's nothing like practicing a part over and over again. Yeah! Band Kids Unite! There's nothing like practicing a part that's got you stumped over and over again, and then being able to execute it flawlessly. And you can't get that from something that you're able to sight read from the start. If you're a high schooler and you're playing a 6th grade music piece, of course you're going to be able to sight read. If every level in Geometry Dash was sight readable, it would be such a boring game.
Yeah,
my god.
If I can one attempt an easy demon because every click has a jump indicator, I feel like I've wasted my time.
Also, yeah, that's another hot take. Y'all don't need jump indicators. And if you're gonna use them consistently. You know, either do or don't.
It's really funny that the mod and the person who has played probably the least amount of GD here has such strong feelings about this game, because GD is a big part of my life. I talk about it a lot. I show her like videos of creators and we watch level showcases and stuff. But like, I genuinely love how
heated?
How heated, but how like knowledgeable you are. Because you're still an artist at the end of the day, and you understand, like, practices.
I'm an artist, humble brag, artist. But I'm also a person who wants to make video games. I've done 3D animation and modeling, and I have done code. If you guys want to learn code, a cool thing, and you like also like music, a cool program that I used in high school was called Ear Sketch, EARSKETCH. And you learn how to code through, like, music. It's very cool. I loved 3D modeling animation. I messed around a little bit in Unity. I have Godot, or Godot, however you want to pronounce it. I have Blender. I haven't really messed around with it. But as a person who enjoys art and video games, the idea of like, oh, it sucks because I have to make it in this style because everybody else does, and if I don't, everybody's gonna hate me. Like, that's no fun. That's not a community that I want to join, and I don't think I'm the only one who has opted out of joining the Geometry Dash community because everybody's so cutthroat.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing wrong with sight readability. Like,
it makes sense for easier levels.
I believe
definitely.
that all levels should have a balance of sight readability versus not.
The harder your level is, the less sight readable it should be, I would say, in a general correlation.
Yeah, and then there's also, like, you know, you kind of want to give your player a breather sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
to get, like, a sense of a difficulty curve.
You could have a demon level, and then just every so often throw him a bone.
Yeah. I agree.
I think a really smart choice for this contest that you made was the 18k limit.
Yeah.
For objects placed.
The limit was definitely one of the biggest things that I wanted to include, because that, I think, challenges people to use their objects very wisely. You can't just waste objects. You have to be very intentional about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I really, really wanted that. I remember people freaking out about the object limit, and all of the levels...
There was some that were like 12k.
Yeah, and they looked awesome.
I mean,
They looked awesome!
Everybody should know about the one level that only uses like 4 objects.
Oh, the one by Sputniks?
Yeah. If we're being honest, if I was in this contest and I was concerned, no. 1360, your level being 8k, don't cry emoji about that. That's awesome.
That's cool. You used your objects very intentionally.
But if I was participating in a contest like this, personally speaking, I would like watch the Sputniks video about how he only used 4 objects. Well, maybe he used hacks, but I know that there's mechanics in the game to move blocks around. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm worried, I'm just going to take some blocks from the start of the level that we're not using anymore and it's not on screen anymore. I'm going to move it to the next part of the level.
You're talking about having...
I'm going to deconstruct the beginning and put it into the end. Like, who's going to know? Yeah. You can't see it. Who's going to know except for the people who go into the editor? Mm-hmm. It might take a little bit longer, but... it'll be a cool way to flex my muscles, you know?
When this goes up as like a video, I'm gonna have to go into the description and have like a timestamp of
Olivia Meister's hot takes.
Yeah, just like talking about GD as a game now.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be like the witty banter part.
Yeah, it'll be like the witty wrap up. The heated wrap up.
Heated wrap up. It's any wrap up with me involved.
Yeah. No kidding.
I'm a heated lady. Toasty.
Object limit was more than enough. Yeah, okay, so that's good.
Keep reading the comment.
I ran out of them because it was off screen. It was a different aspect. Oh, you went for aspect ratios. That makes sense.
What I would do in that instance is I would make it until the level was done, and then if I had extra, I would go in and add them.
That's what I did. Yeah. That's what I did with Swirl. When I make my levels, I do it like a 3D printer, where I do like the layout all in one pass, and then I do like all of the things that I can think of from start to finish in one pass, and then I go back to the beginning and go through the entire thing again, and I just keep layering detail on until like that part is good and done. Spooky! Spooky!
We are gonna need to wrap up because...
yeah.
Puppy
dog needs to traverse the wilderness and make him...
empty his bowels.
And make his body weight less.
And make his presence known to the other woodland creatures.
If you want to take care of that, I can wrap up and then... No?
Because I also have to.
Oh, okay. Okay. I suppose if there are no other
I'm so
questions,
sorry, Vuki. You joined right at the end.
This VOD will stay up.
Yeah.
This VOD will stay up, so you can put this
go
on
watch
in the
my
background.
heated takes.
You can put this on in the background. You can listen to us talk. You can, do whatever the stream means to you, I guess.
Everything.
But assuming that there's no more questions.
No questions, comments, concerns.
I want to thank you all for being here for this. This is like the second time I've ever done a video like this. The first time was for Stick and Dash episode 2. So it's been a bit. And I really hope that this stream / VOD in the future has shown how deep I like to go when it comes to projects, how much effort needs to go into something that might feel a little bit on the smaller side. This whole thing with the level, with the promo, with the trailer, with the animations, everything was a month and a half of nose to the grindstone work. And I hope that you guys are able to get a sense of how long and how much this took. That really is what I hope to provide is a window into the process of everything, with a little bit of constructive criticism on the community and the creating scene as a whole. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy being here. Thank you Vuki, I appreciate that a whole lot. CC3 will happen later this year, ideally. And I believe that is all that we've got time for today.
Looks like the train is leaving the station.
It's a little bit of a weird whistle, but thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Go play the list in order, please. Let's spread the word about this contest. Let's get more recognition for the levels in the contest because all of them deserve it. If you wish to talk to me or some of the other mods about your level specifically, our DMs are open. You can come to us and we can have a conversation, a very constructive criticism-based conversation about your level, and hopefully we can help to further along your creating journeys. Thank you guys for the support for this.
Thanks for tuning in.
I hope that the hype was worth it.
The hype train!
And the wait was worth it, because I could not be prouder of this contest. I am so proud of this. I hope to do more things similar to this in the somewhat near future, but I can't make any promises. I have ideas, but I'm not going to go into it. Thank you guys so much. I really hope that you enjoy playing the list and enjoy watching the video. And thank you for believing in this and believing in me, because it really means a lot.
Twice fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was really fun. So
I'm nearly passing out when I was judging.
yeah, we did eat some food.
I almost died, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a nice rest of your day.
Bye!
And stay awesome out there.